Welcome to the DorkLair collecting live stream. We got a special off week episode here. We've got Jesse DeStasio in the house from Toy Pizza. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. Sorry, I had to mute the second mic. I was hearing an echo. Second screen.
Yep.
Live broadcasting, folks. You never know what you're going to get.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Hello to all the viewers out there. Hi, everybody.
We got Cyber Rat over here.
He's one of my favorite rats. Absolutely.
He's a great rat.
Yeah.
Slink is in the house. We've got Blake, Ben G,
I know Ben
Foxwell, Jeremy Govier, and Edgardo. What's up, everybody? This will be a little more of a quiet night, a little off week, probably a little bit shorter too, maybe about an hour. But Jesse's here to talk about a big event coming up. Got the
That's right.
It's an Expo.
Yeah. Well, we're kind of in the quiet right before the storm. Next Sunday is the big show. Yeah. This is the fifth ever Toy Pizza. Now it's called Expo. Previously, it was called Con.
What's the is it Exposition? Is it the Toy Pizza Exposition? What's the name change all about? Is it just bigger, better? What's that?
I never thought of that. That's a really good question. I guess. What does it normally stand for? Exposition, right?
Exposition, yeah, I think so.
Let's just Expo by itself. It's sexier. It sounds good. It gets the point across. Let's just say it's not short for anything.
All right. So Expo, not expose.
Not expose.
Okay.
No, that sounds scandalous.
Yes, it does.
And exposition just sounds like too much dialogue,
Right. It sounds like a literary thing as opposed to a fair. Like when I think of exposition, I think of the Big E. Have you ever heard of the Big E?
Yeah, I've been many times for sure.
Oh, really? Nice.
Although I got a text from a friend today and they're like, sorry, I'm going to miss TPX. And I was like, oh, I should have used that abbreviation.
Yeah.
That is so much better than TPE. God damn. So look forward to it being called TPX next year.
All right. So why don't you give a little background? I mean, you're talking about it was Toy Pizza Con. Kind of How did this thing start, and what's the history of it?
Well, this year is significant for several reasons. So obviously, it's the 5th year we've been doing Toy Pizza live events. Toy Pizza, which began as a YouTube channel, began 10 years ago, if you can believe it. So we were making videos about collectibles all those many years ago. It eventually spun off into the Knights of the Slice toy line, which became my sort of full-time occupation. And then 5 years ago, I just wanted to have kind of a community day and pull together collectors. And it quickly grew into a very, very massive show. And, this year we've had to move to an entirely new venue that's even bigger, that can sort of support live performances as we're incorporating into the event. So you know what? Why don't we just look at the poster? I don't know if this is going to be mirrored or not, but it is. No, it's not mirrored. Okay, good. This is great. So here's all you need to know, right? We got
let me
indie.
Let me put you solo.
There we go. We got indie artists from toys, comics, apparel, art, podcasting, and more. Vintage finds, food trucks. What does that say? Live music. That's right. This is everything you need to know. I'm trying to create, in many respects, the sort of anti-Comic-Con, or failing that, just give people a really excellent day in their life, And I think we're going to be able to pull that off. There we go. Yeah, much easier to read it that way.
See it in full. What is in the bottom left there, MFY, or WFYM?
WFYM Talk Radio. This is, so selfishly, this is a podcast I listen to all the time. I think these are the funniest guys online, and they've never done a live show before. So I kind of fabricated this entire convention just as an excuse to invite these guys and get
Nice.
to watch them do their show live, and it worked. It paid off. So WFYM are really great historians of freaks online, and it's
Okay.
specifically freakish people that think they're going to be famous. So, people would be influencers, as it were.
Hmm.
Uh, they have found and they have curated this collection of just some of the weirdest, most depraved people you've ever seen or heard of, who in their minds are 100% convinced they are going to be the next Mr. Beast or PewDiePie or whoever. And I barely even know who those two guys are, but whatever you think of like a influencer that has come from the internet culture,
Yeah.
these people are 100% convinced they are going to be the next people to do it. So we're talking about, you're going to see a lot of really disgusting food reviews. You're going to see sextile aficionados. They have the videos that they have found and strung together will break your mind.
So they
And so,
curate these videos of real people like doing this stuff. Like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
that's
they have a
interesting.
very popular Twitch channel where they'll watch for like 2 or 3 hours all of the uploads from this menagerie, and it is such a fascinating sort of moment in history, because the chances of being an influencer are really dried up. Like there
Yeah.
was a moment, even Toy Pizza being on YouTube 10 years ago was a little bit late for
Yeah.
having a huge breakout success just based on, making content online. We were
Yeah.
kind of already late to the party 10 years ago. So for people 10 years beyond us being late for something to be convinced that this is their path in life and this is their dream makes for a truly like twisted worldview. So
Yeah.
um, it's truly fascinating, and again, it's like I like this from a sociological perspective. This is a time capsule of this moment where conditionings in the world are worsening, but there's still this select group of people that feel if they simply review one more McRib sandwich or do a cinnamon challenge and upload a video, their path to fame and success will present itself. So it's incredibly like it's a really fascinating sort of uh, you know view into the human condition.
I have the lens of being a teacher of a generation of kids right now
Sure.
who
Okay.
are audience members who almost see it as like a pathway. You know what I mean? And it's like
Yeah.
you got to pump the brakes there a little bit and think about like some actual learning,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Very interesting point. I think you would probably agree with this. And Aaron from WFYM was the first person that pointed this out, and I'd never thought of this before. He said, when he grew up, he was like listening to Loveline on the radio, like Adam Carolla, or he's listening to Howard Stern, right?
Yeah.
People that were a couple generations older than him.
Hmm.
Everybody in the younger generations have grown up listening and talking to and being entertained by people that are their age. And that's never happened before in the history of sort of entertainment. So
Yeah.
it does create this really interesting parasocial phenomenon where these people are your friends, but they're not your friends. These people are like reachable because you can sort of donate or you can make a sub or highlight a comment and you get an interaction from an actual famous person. And it's really like, all of these things are what I'm kind of fascinated about in this moment in time.
Mm.
And, I think that the WFM guys are really good at like parsing what that phenomenon is, and selecting
Yep.
some really bleak examples of it.
So bringing it back to Toy Pizza Con, they're going to stream live from the event, is that right?
Yeah, they're coming in from across the country, and they have worked out a kind of like a PowerPoint presentation, if you will, that'll
Okay.
showcase some of the craziest internet videos that just exist. Stuff that normal mainstream people would never have contact with. We will all leave this performance severely twisted in our psyche, because it will be, I think it's going to be a real like sanity shock for everybody in some of the stuff they show. So that's the idea. It's basically like a PowerPoint presentation
Okay.
showcasing these incredible, bizarre videos that they've sort of found in the depths of the online world.
Will they be just doing that there, or will they be also like broadcasting that to their stream too? Like, will I be able to watch this even though like sitting home on Father's Day because I can't go out there because it's Father's
Right.
Day? Will I be able to sit home and watch this
I
live? Like,
believe they're going to have it up on their Patreon shortly thereafter.
okay,
Um, we have so much sort of technical things to deal with that adding streaming on top of it just was
yeah,
not
yeah,
in the
that's tough.
cards,
Yeah, yeah.
But I think it's going to be really good. And, you guys can check them out on Patreon. I should probably know what their Patreon is called. Let's see here. I think it's Chapo FYM, maybe. Yeah, Chapo FYM
Mm-hmm.
on Patreon. That's where they will post this sort of live stream. But yeah, part of this year is about like introducing people to new stuff that maybe they've never encountered before. You might go because you want to, get an action figure, or you might like a comic artist that's set up at the show. And then, oh, there's this comedy show that's upstairs, or hey, there's this food vendor that's making, whatever it is they're making. The whole idea is to kind of like have people have brand new stimulus from different disciplines that maybe they would not encounter. Because I think, our hobby is one where we kind of get blinders on, and it
Yeah,
becomes like all encompassing. And we don't think about there's so many other varieties and flavors out there in the world. We're just like hitting the Marvel Legend pre-order button over and over again.
right.
And,
And we're
I
we're
want to
we're
kind of,
tossing the package in the trash without even looking at
yeah,
the art that's on it. And
yeah. So, I want to have people walk into this courtyard and just have a full sensory experience, not just have like, not just line up to buy an exclusive you're worried is going to sell out that you might flip online afterwards, but like
yeah,
have something good to eat, have a craft
right.
beer, have like listen to some live music, meet some artists, mingle with people, like, a true sort of community setting.
What's the yard in Beacon, New York? What's that venue like?
It's fantastic. It was a foundry that they sort of refurbished into. It's home to a sort of production and events company,
Mm,
and they decided, well, we have all these speakers, we got all these lights. Let's make this an event space. So they built this incredible performance area upstairs, and there's an incredible outdoor courtyard, nice grass covered, and it's just a place where you go and the vibe feels immaculate. You're like, I could stay here all day long in the sun, and I wouldn't need anything
yeah,
else.
nice.
And I happened to go there and see a concert, and I was like, they had just sort of started doing live events and stuff like that, and I was like, this sound system is amazing. The lights and effects they had going on was like top tier. It was literally like going to, something like Hammerstein Ballroom, or a proper venue in Manhattan, but here in this quiet sort of tree-lined little town.
Mm,
Um, so immediately I was like, my band needs to play here, and I need to do Toy Pizza Expo here because this is incredible. And everybody head to toe that works at that place are incredibly friendly. They're super helpful. Like it's I keep waiting for them to like pull the mask off and be, you know, pull the rug out from underneath me. But everybody is incredibly cool. They simply just want to put on interesting community-based events. Like that's their sole goal. That, they're very picky about what events they allow to happen there. They might take a big expensive wedding from, people, from the city who want to like have a nice rustic setting, but they do that in order to subsidize and pay for these more important, more free to attend events like Toy Pizza Expo.
Mm. Nice. Sounds awesome.
Yeah,
And it sounds like Lago might be thinking about heading over there.
I hope so. Absolutely.
Yeah, this is Hedgehog. This is exactly where I am. I'm like, how can I
Right. Good.
convince my
This is a good.
family to let me like it's a weird conundrum because they have plans for whatever and they want to try to surprise me and it's like, can I convince them to let me just
Look,
drive 4 hours and then spend 4 hours plus and then drive four
this is
12 hours?
this is a call to arms for dads. As
Yeah.
we were talking about before we started rolling, dads get to pick what they do on Father's Day. That is the rule. You know,
Yep.
if not, I don't know. You guys need to reassess the power dynamic going on
Right. Yeah. I
in the
know. I'm
household.
thinking there. Cloud says about 2 hours for Cloud. I think I've been there once some years ago. I remember there being special beer people.
There are a lot of breweries in Beacon, so there will be some really great sort of craft beer uh, at the event and some sort of crossovers with people like that. But 2 hours, easy. It's going to go by like nothing. And
If I was
New
2 hours,
Jersey,
I
yeah,
100% would be going.
right. But the Parkway, it's beautiful. It's tree lined. It's a breeze. Nothing to it.
And then B might have missed. Where is it again?
This is in Beacon, New York. So it's about an hour 15 from Manhattan.
A lot of people here have been to Danbury for the Shop the Curiosity, and that's not too. That's probably like another half 45 maybe from there, an hour from there or something like
Yeah.
that. Like it seems like
Yeah,
it's
they're both
fairly.
they're both right off of 84. I've
Yeah.
done Shop the Curiosity, fantastic show as well. And yeah, it's pretty close by. And I like going to the Shake Shack in Danbury also.
Oh, nice. Um, a gather. Steph says a gathering of weird O's sounds fun, and yeah, like if I could convince my family to just come with me, that'd be the best. My
Yeah, and
wife would like that. My daughter, yeah, my daughter would probably like it too. My whole family, I think, would actually like that.
well,
Honestly,
here's the premise, right? Like part of what I hated about the cons and coming from the toy industry and working the con circuit, you're trapped in one industrial building the entire day. You don't
yeah,
see the town around you. You don't get any sunlight. It sucks, and the food's bad. Um, Beacon itself is so wonderful, and there's so much to see and so much to do. I don't actually want people hanging around all day long. I'd love for you to come in early and get whatever you want to buy, and then go spend some time in Beacon because we're right on Main Street, and there's so much to see and do. There's a fantastic um, flea market that's going on concurrently. I found so
nice.
much awesome vintage comic books, toys, clothing there. Some of the best restaurants in the world are on Beacon Main Street. The James Beard Society is not too far away, so there's a lot of really great foodie destinations along
Mm-hmm.
the way. And Beacon Main Street is kind of well rounded in that there is something for everybody. So if you have a daughter, if you have young boys, like they're going to be blown away. There's a vintage arcade where we've done the previous shows at. You can stop in there. There's plenty of clothing stores and shopping. Like it's kind of got
Maybe
everything.
maybe that's my angle. Maybe I don't even talk about Toy Pizza Expo. I'm just like, for
Exactly.
Father's Day, I've been thinking about going to Beacon, New York,
Yeah.
and show
And
them
then
some
you just happen to
pictures
walk by.
online.
Hey, what's this?
Yeah, yeah,
What is
exactly.
this?
Oh, cool. And then I know a
Everybody
bunch of
from
people
Four
there.
Horsemen is right here. What's up? So weird.
Let's look at the. I'm gonna pull up your.
The landing page.
Oh yeah, actually that's a better one. Hold on, I was gonna pull
Yeah,
up
we got a lot
your
of
post,
nice
but
photos on there.
yeah, that's a good one. So let me go here. Toy Pizza Expo. All right, so, and I'm not gonna see the comments for a bit because I'm on a separate second screen here. So, um, Yeah,
Oh,
I
we
wanted to.
got Lago Figs is in. It's a $130 from him. His wife just gave the okay. Welcome to Toy Pizza Expo, Lago Figs.
There it
Happy to hear that.
is. Nice. So you know what? I wanted to pull up the rundown of
Oh, the
people, the
artists.
vendor. So
Yeah, that
let me pull up that instead. I'm gonna pull up your IG post.
sure.
So that would be here, I think, and then the show guide. That's what I wanted to. All right. So here's. Let me zoom a little.
Yeah.
So here's a list of folks that'll
This is
be
a
vendors.
partial list also. We got more vendors confirming and being added to this. Absolutely.
Nice. Do you want to talk us through a few of these, or?
Sure, absolutely. So Neon Lords, they just had a very successful RPG, and they have a really great sort of toxic wasteland game with miniatures that they've developed. So they're going to be demoing the game there. I think
Mhm.
that's going to be a lot of fun. Natalie Koromoto is one of the rare breakout Instagram artists that has really hit the big time. Her and I went to college together. She's incredibly talented. She has also made a Glyos figure of one of her characters. So Natalie will be there. She's very prolific. She has a fashion and apparel brand. So like your daughter will absolutely love the things that she makes.
Mm-hmm.
So we're very excited to have her. Plunderlings, very good friends of ours. Obviously, you guys know the Plunderlings. They're pretty adjacent to all
Yep.
of the Legion activities. They're going to be there representing. Natasha Allegri, the creator of Bee and Puppy Cat, an extremely talented animator and illustrator. She's going to have a lot of her own sort of soft goods and stickers and things like that. Gavin Mackey, probably one of my favorite illustrators. He's done a lot of comic work for Knights of the Slice and a lot of toy design work. He came up with the mechanical design that for the Gauss armor, which obviously the Four Horsemen then worked off of and sculpted.
Right.
That was thanks to Gavin's 2D design. David White, who works with Super 7 and Mezco, quickly becoming one of the go-to 3D artists. He goes under the moniker Mechazone,
3D
and David
sculptor.
is, 3D sculptor,
Okay.
but also multi-talented intellectual guy. He's currently building his own 16-bit video game from scratch, writing
Oh
all the
wow.
coding and everything. He's
Wow.
like a genius level
Yeah.
type. Who got next? Boglin Creations. They're debuting some really cool plush that I think has some crossover with Matt Dowdy of Glyos's designs. And him and Cassette Man Studios have been a staple of even, I think, the very first Toy Pizza Con. So we're happy to have them back. Toy Galaxy. I don't know who this loser is. This guy named Dan Larson, who barely knows how to do a stream, if anything. No, I'm kidding. I love Dan. We all love Dan. Dan is just a genuine article. He's the real deal in the toy industry.
He is awesome.
He is incredibly knowledgeable. He cares about what he's doing. And him and I have a crossover figure using the Knights of the Slice body with his character, his childhood character. And that's going to be debuting at the show. So that's a very big deal. I guess you could say Dan is kind of like, he's on the headlining stage for sure. Yeah, there it is. Look at that.
Yep. So I had that
Beautiful.
link. Yep. So Dark Hawk, and this is his SG2, and yeah, so that's going to be debuting there at the show, right?
There's
Or
a good comment. Yeah, he's going to be there. There's a really good comment here that I would like to address from Cloud Foxwell. I'm assuming that's your Christian name. They said, I really should start drawing again. And one of the things that I love about the Night of the Slice community and I love about Toy Pizza Expo is that largely everybody involved in it is creative in some way, shape, or form, right? And the community is really great at that's incredible that that's your real name. My God, I'm very impressed. Everybody in the Knights of the Slice community, we call ourselves the Squires of the Slice. They are incredibly creative and incredibly supportive of other people's creative endeavors. So Toy Pizza Expo this year is going to have people that have been working for 12 months on a creative project. And this is their first chance to sort of share it and show it to people. And, a lot of people got back into drawing, started it back up, started keeping sketchbooks because of our community and the sort of reinforcement that we have for each other. So I would absolutely recommend that Cloud start drawing again. I would recommend bring a sketchbook to Toy Pizza Expo, get the other artists to do a little doodle, show off your work, just talk about the craft. Like that to me is kind of one of the most important parts of having an expo that is really absent and missing from the Comic-Con experience.
Yeah.
So, I think creativity and encouraging that and having a good sort of group of people to act as a sounding board is like something that I really get animated over.
Mm. This is the first summer that we're not doing like a pretty much daily day camp type thing with my daughter. And so I'm going to be doing my wife works, I'm a teacher. So I'm going to be doing a lot of like activities with my daughter. And
Sure.
one of the things, one of the plans is to draw together, to just like have like, like we're going to do like reading time, go to library, museums, like all that stuff. But like one of the ones I want to do is just like drawing together, like sitting and drawing. So yeah, and I'm not really much of an artist, but like anybody can draw. Anybody, like it's
Absolutely.
like totally. Um,
Yeah, it's a super crucial skill. It's something I really push very hard. And I know Gordon's in the chat. Gordon just kind of got back into drawing, started attending life drawing classes, started making little zines, and now he's a pretty prolific 3D sculptor. And he's got his own 3D printer. He's selling his own figures this year. Like, when you
nice.
kind of get into a group like this, you learn and you grow and evolve exponentially quicker because there's
Right.
other minds kind of, I don't know, vibrating at the same frequency as you.
Mm-hmm. Totally. So yeah. So any other thoughts on Toy Galaxies?
I know people were asking if these will be available after Toy Pizza Con. I believe he's going to open it up to his patrons, and then whatever's left over after that
Yep.
will probably have some kind of public offering.
Yep. All right. Let me come back to the list.
Hey, KJ.
All right. What else we got here?
Okay, so we got. I'll be brief because this will take a while. We got It Went Bad. Very talented artist, multiple disciplinary artist. Does stickers, does custom toys, does a little bit of everything. Life Machine. This is a new artist I just started collecting. I believe they recently just did their first sort of PVC figure made out of China. Very cutesy, kawaii stuff, but it has a bit of a morbid twist to it. If you see their work, I think it'll make much more sense.
Okay.
Kenneth West, again, another guy, super talented in many different avenues. Kenneth is a talented musician. He's an incredible film editor. Him and I have been collaborating on videos for my Patreon and videos for my action figure of the Millennia Club. But he's also an incredible 3D sculptor, printer, customizer. And he, along with Vlad the Bad, further down the list, both of them have had sculpted parts become actual tooled pieces in the Knights of the Slice pantheon of parts. So they have now become, you could say, professional toy designers just through, putting in the work and being part of the community and things like that. Omnirez, besides looking like a heel in a wrestling video game, is also another multiple disciplinary talented guy. We love Dick Jones very much. He's also going to act as the bouncer because he's such an imposing
I need to hold on a
looking
second.
guy.
Is that on here? Oh my god, look at these.
Omnirez,
There
yeah.
it is. Okay.
I know it's such a mess trying to tag
Is he
stuff.
in there? Are we gonna see him here or what?
Yeah, he's in here somewhere. Yeah, there he is.
There he is.
He's enormous. He's a big scary guy, but he's got a heart of gold.
Okay.
He must be like, I would say 6'4", maybe.
Nice.
Yeah, but he's incredible. Great guy.
So back over here. Yep.
Back to the list here. Mark Ultra, quietly one of the coolest and most conceptual artists out there. Now, he's a big time tattoo artist, so he doesn't dedicate a lot of time to the toy side of things, but when he does, it's pretty stellar. He debuted a Japanese vinyl figure last year at our show, and I'm assuming he's been saving something quite big for this. So this is going to be, a special show for him. Sonic Atomics, here's another great example. A guy who just sort of got into Knights of the Slice, spent a year kind of working on stuff, and is now debuting these modular 3D printed guitars and synthesizer parts. So you can build weapons in the scale of Knights of the Slice and, other. I think they actually work pretty well with 6-inch figures as well. But great example of somebody who took, the 11 months or so since our last show and was like, this year I'm coming out with something big. I'm going to dedicate my time to it. And it really shows. Cool Cat Toys. I think this is like the younger nephew of all of us older guys. We love Grant very much. He's an incredible sculptor and another person, again, dedicating their time to perfecting their craft. Nobody on this list is lazy, right? Everybody here has sort of been iterating and working on these things since we all met up last year. And it's really quite miraculous to see, Right. Same goes for a Geostation, another customizer, another person who kind of accidentally came into Knights of the Slice, but quickly became a pillar of the community, has been super helpful for other people in regards to 3D printing and 3D sculpting and things like that. And they too are going to debut some brand new stuff. And then, of course, Lad the Bad, who we already mentioned, that's Gordon here in the chat, not to dox him or anything. But Gordon, I don't want to give too much away, but his Cursed Armor figure, one, would absolutely appeal to everybody who's a Legions fan. But also, it is head and shoulders so much more complex and such an evolution from the stuff he showed last year. So, part of this experience is seeing Vladimir the Vladimir.
Oh, there
a
it
little
is.
bit up there. Yeah. Part of the joy in all this is seeing, the high water mark that everybody is kind of hitting every year. This is kind of a weird kit bash of all these different parts. You got Cool Cat Toys in the middle. That's the guitar from Sonic Atomics.
Right.
So that's a good representation of the kind of madness that this show will bring for people.
So what's the
right there? Yeah,
is it
the
this
purple.
on the right?
Yeah. Yep. This is the Cursed Armor here. It's fantastic. It's so cool.
Yeah.
All
right, so let me go back here.
Back to the homework page. Okay, we're almost there. Derek Bracken, yet another person. There's a lot of similarities here. These are all people that kind of ingrain themselves within the community and are just fantastic. Derek has been churning out a lot of customs. He is fixated on the use of magnets for joints, which I think is a big no-no, but he's a big believer in this. Mm-hmm. And he's going to come out once again. I think he's driving from Ohio or something like that. No, yeah, Ohio, I want to say. Somewhere in the Midwest. Far too long to drive, but he's doing it because he's that dedicated.
That's a haul, yeah.
And then Rack Graphics. So people may know Robert A. Cross. He's the creator of Shakan the Forever Man, which was most notably, for the majority of people, the hardest Sega Genesis game ever created. But Robert is like the OG independent comic book guy. Like Shakan the Forever Man goes back a very long time. He's just like the genuine article when it comes to what you think of like underground comics and storytellers and people that kind of are outside the mainstream but have had this multi-generational career. It's really and he's an incredible storyteller. He's a raconteur. He's one of the nicest, funniest guys, and he's just done it all. He's seen it all. Really, really quite incredible. And then we have our pool of Glyos makers. So Jesse Moore and Raw Shark, Mark Bodette and Bitfigs, Paleo Lords. This is one of the newer Glyos makers. I think they're getting very close to being officially sort of manufactured over in China. I'm
Mhm.
not sure where they are in the timeline of it, but there should be new stuff on display. And that's one people, if they've seen Paleo Lords at previous Legions Con or things like that, we've all been waiting for years and years for this release. And I think we're inching ever closer to it. So it's very exciting. Then we have Onell Design, Matt Dowdy, the original creator of this, and the reason why I make toys,
Mhm.
or at least make toys independently, I should say. And then we have Brandon coming in from Manor Monster. He's flying in. I think this is his first time at Toy Pizza Expo, and we're very excited to have him as well as Cappy Space. I think both of them are making their first appearance at a Toy Pizza event, and both are flying in from far away. So we're very happy to have them. And also, there's a bunch more vendors I'm going to announce, but this Toy Life, everybody should be following. Great vintage store in Connecticut. Bobby's going to be bringing tons of arcane goodies, as well as he has quite a robust collection of vintage Knights of the Slice figures, if we could call them vintage at this point. So if people are
Mhm.
missing figures from the back catalog, Bobby's probably going to be your best opportunity to kind of fill
Nice.
in those gaps.
Sweet. All right, so let's pull up the site now. So let's go over to here. And should we watch this video?
Sure, why not?
In the year of
Can you hear me?
2024, Toy Pizza
Good
Con
narration.
has become Toy Pizza Expo, a bigger name for a much bigger show set at a huge venue. Thanks to our partners at The Yard in Beacon, we have much more room to spread out and a full day planned of various activities. Toy Pizza Expo is meant to be the anti-Comic-Con. Instead of focusing on selling stuff and commerce and forcing people to buy stale food under fluorescent lighting, we are going to have all-day programming, live podcasts, comedians, live music, everything you could want to foster not just a sense of community, but hopefully the feeling of the best day of your life. If you're into action figures, if you're into comic books, if you're into apparel, posters, postcards, anything creative, we have something for you at TPE 2024. Getting to the show is quite easy. If you're coming from New York City, you simply take the Metro North to Beacon. Very easy, very beautiful train trip. From the train station, you can choose to get an Uber, get a taxi, or make a very pleasant walk of it. It's about 40 minutes, and basically you head down the entirety of Main Street, veering left.
Should we? I didn't realize it was
You get the idea.
5 minutes.
Yeah. You
All right.
get the idea.
How do I get
We
out
don't
of
need to
this?
go over modes of transportation. I think people can
Yeah.
piece that together for themselves.
Cool. All right, and we got yeah. Okay, so we can look at some pictures here of.
Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming last year, right?
This is last year at Happy Valley. So obviously much bigger space, many more vendors,
Mm-hmm.
much more room to breathe. I think it's going to be really something else this year.
Is this Card Slicers over here?
That is, yeah.
I've never tried the game. The game that it involves that many dice.
It can.
Wow.
So, yeah, we're going to have another Card Slicers tournament. We had a really contentious Card Slicers tournament last year. It came down to it was a single roll of the die that decided the fate of this competition. It was really crazy. So we're having another competition this year, and you don't have to use this many die, but there are. You have a life bar on your card, so you need something to mark off when you've taken a hit.
Right.
Most people just use dice because they're pretty plentiful.
Yeah. Got some music here.
Oh yeah, my band will be playing. We always have some pretty interesting visuals. I think that's part of half of what we do. We try to make a very theatrical sort of presentation. And in that clip you saw, there was sort of the masked figure with the animated skull on its face. That was one of our performances at the Yard as well. So,
Okay.
we really strive to have I just want people to see stuff they don't see every day, you know, and I think that's informed in the musical performances as well.
Was that so? What was that? Was that projection on there, or was that like LEDs? Like what? Or
Uh,
secrets? Or
so
what was that?
no, I'm happy to pull the curtain back. So we had multiple projectors going on. So we had a sort of vertical projector which just sits up against a wall and can project up onto it. It's incredible. It's like holographic stuff. And then we had a separate projector projecting onto my face. And then this guy in the picture here, Dan, he was drawing on an iPad, manipulating the projection on my face. So,
interesting.
You know, it was a very sort of unique, you know, way to play with sort of light and imagery and stuff like that. And, you know, that's kind of why no two shows that Zed Star 7 does are alike in that respect.
Right. Yeah. And then the Card Slicer tournament.
Oh, yeah.
A little cosplay here.
You got to have your own, you know, mascot for sure.
Right. Yeah. Is it a little performance? Should we watch a little bit of this or?
A little bit. Sure.
All right. Oh, wait. This is another.
Oh, we could. Yeah, Rick makes great videos. We can see a little footage here. This is good.
I saw Dan in there.
Yeah. Look at all those toys. They could be yours, folks. It was also about, I would say, 100 degrees out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was hot.
Little early to figure out the weather for this year, but we're getting close to knowing.
Yeah, well, you know, last year was July. I'm hoping June shaves off a couple degree points. We'll see.
As somebody who got married in June and had a 1,000-degree wedding, it's always a crapshoot.
Yeah. Yeah, this is inside Happy Valley.
Nice. All right. Can I jump to some? Let me jump.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, I didn't realize you had a full band.
You have a drummer. We do. So, okay, so the drummer, that is Mark from Bitfigs, and he had never heard any of our songs, did not know, you know, had not prepped at all, and just sat down and banged out everything perfectly. It was incredible.
Nice.
So
that's awesome.
Mark is coming back this year. I don't think he's practiced or learned any of the songs, so it's yet again going to be, you know, a very sort of improvised sort of setting.
Nice. I'm gonna jump to this another spot further ahead and see what we got. Yeah, I'm blown away that you got basically a full band going here. I just for some reason I thought it was pure electronica or whatever. But yeah, that's awesome.
So I do play solo sets as well. You know, like Tuesday night, I did a solo set. But you know, I have
Twitch,
more fun.
You usually do it on your Twitch channel,
I do it on my Twitch, but also I have a sort of stand. There's a club draw in Beacon, so once a month, everybody gets together and breaks out their sketchbooks, and I do the music for a club draw. So
nice.
It's sort of, the band can be in either form. It could be a solo project, or it can sort of expand to you know, other musicians and other improvisers. Really, in many respects, all of our songs started as complete improvisations. You know, even lyrics and things like that, just completely spur of the moment. And some of those songs still retain that element where we're just kind of spitballing and making stuff up live and as we do it. So the equipment the guy in the middle is using, that would probably be the Micro Korg, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's since upgraded, but Yeah, and it was my microcork. I was loaning it out to him. Let the record show.
And then Gordon says that that's Sonic Atomics on the far right.
That's correct. Yes. So he knows guitars. You can trust him.
Okay. And that's an event recap.
If you did want to Google something on YouTube, you could look up Z-Star 7 at BOS The Yard, and that will show some of the lights and more theatrical aspects of our performances.
Okay, let me. How's this?
Yep, perfect, great,
All right.
got it. So this gives a bit more of the visuals that we like to play with.
I just saw the title of the song.
Respect the shroud.
Yeah. Cobra Commander thing. Nice.
You get the idea.
That sounds great. That is a great video right there.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to make like kinetic paintings. You know what I mean? Like movement within art that is sort of being painted live. Like there's something very interesting to that aspect to me.
It's unique for sure. It's very very live, very like in the moment.
Yeah, and so obviously, Toy Pizza Expo is free to attend. You have access to the courtyard. The WFYM show requires a separate ticket, but at 5 p.m. we'll have the closing ceremony where my band will perform. That's free for everybody. And also, we're going to be showing off a greatest hits video from the 10 years of Toy Pizza history at that time. And I think, it's going to be great. It's going to be, if it's not great, then I've gone into bankruptcy for nothing. So it needs to be great. It needs to be great. Also, here, I could show this off if you want to give me the main spotlight.
You up here, solo.
This was a gift to my patrons for the expo. This is the premium bathroom user card. So obviously you can, write your name here so people know who you are. I am a Squire of the Slice. Please vacate the stall. If someone wearing this comes into the bathroom, you have to leave the stall. I don't care if you're midstream. I don't care if you're mid-process. Get out.
What if they come in and all of the check marks are checked off, and I'm sitting there and they demand it, but the check marks are all checked off, the times used, and they've used up all their times.
No, this is a good thing. That's not
Look,
okay, that's a brag. Here's another difference. You go to New York Comic Con, Javis is not checking who's doing what and how many times they're using the bathroom. They're letting anybody do number ones, do number twos. There's no accounting for any of that. We are going to account for that. We're going to have metrics. We're going to have a lot of graphs afterwards. We're going to put them up. Next year, we're going to do a recap of the bathroom report.
You're like data
And
mining.
well, look, I'm offering something that no other con is, you know, that's all. I mean, I've been wanting this forever for any of the shows I attend. Where's my premium bathroom experience? You know? So luckily my patrons already got this. I'll have a couple at the show, but I'm going to give them out based on, I don't know, looks or appearance, I suppose. That seems to be the best way to do it. But yeah, you know, finally we can say there is a convention that will have a full accounting for who uses the bathroom and what they're doing in there. And we're going to make that information public.
That's good. Yeah, I think that's
I think so.
a noble cause. You know, you should.
Absolutely.
Flushes of honor.
I'm tired of not knowing. We're fed up. I go to Legion's Con. Don't get me started on the bathroom situation at Legion's Con. Okay, it's the Wild West over there.
This is not Nam. There are rules.
Thank you. Yes, exactly. That's exactly it.
Let me swing you back over here.
And if that doesn't sell you guys on the show, nothing will. If you're not swayed by that, this is not the show for you. I'm sorry.
So they're going to your patrons, and then when you get there, if you look good, you get one. Is that how it works?
Yeah, I think so. Look, if you're wearing costume, I think that's premium bathroom user.
Oh yeah,
you know,
I mean that's a legit thing.
qualifies.
I think if you're wearing a costume, you get priority bathroom for sure.
Yeah, if you bring treats for people, hey, you're getting upgraded to the premium bathroom experience.
You're also enabling lots of bathroom use if you're bringing, you know, food and beverage for people. Well, you know,
it's going to happen.
Food.
It's natural.
Yeah.
This is a natural process every human goes through. That's why we're going to monitor, track, and publish this information.
It's for science.
It's not. There's nothing to be ashamed of, but we will be marking off how many times you're using it and what you're using it for. Thank you. People see your chat gets it. They know.
Hedgehog says the bathroom situation at Legion's Con is the bathroom in my hotel room. That's kind of funny because like almost everybody who's at Legion's Con is like staying in the hotel that Legion's Con is in.
Yeah,
that's funny. Cloud. Bring Taco Bell and watch the bathroom mayhem.
Yeah. Well, it's like I said, it's all going to be monitored within the confines of federal law. I'm not breaking any laws here, but I think, you know, people have a right to know.
KJ's going now. The bathroom sold
That's
it
right.
for him.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the premium pass. So, you know, what is KJ willing to do? That's the question. How bad do you want it, KJ? That's my question to you.
What
and no
else?
one's allowed to leave. No one's allowed to leave and use a bathroom somewhere else. Also, by the way.
So
if you leave the premises, you're going to have we have interns assigned to track you.
Wait till you come back. Is that the
No,
rule?
they're going to follow you. You'll have a tail. You'll have an escort if you leave the premises. I don't want people going across the street to the park using the bathroom there. No. That's outside of the data set. No.
So if they go to the flea market, don't use the
I'm padlocking
Sandy
the
cans
porta potty.
at the porta
I'm
potties
padlocking
there.
it. We have a deal worked out. It's going to be padlocked. All the stores, they all know. I've gone to them with a guest list. I've gone to them with a premium pass. They understand the experience I'm trying to cultivate.
This also sounds like a rule breaking situation. Don't bring your depends because they're not allowed because that.
Oh, we'll be patting everybody down. We have a full security ensemble. We have metal detectors. We have both male and female security guards, so you can be pat down by the gender of your choice. You know, we're very inclusive in that respect. But we will get to the bottom of this. I want to be very clear.
All right,
Any more bathroom related questions?
As someone who suffers from serious IBS, this would be anxiety inducing.
That's why we have the pass. That's why we have the premium experience. This is exactly for people like that.
Just pass out from anxiety. Anyway, any other information? Anything else you want to
Okay,
share
so
about the event?
what if somebody has to go number one, but actually it turns into number two? Great question. No, I'm kidding. All right. I don't know. Look, we got a great bundle. I have a great bundle of exclusives that are going to be offered at the show. My patrons currently have access to pre-order that bundle. There is a Gauss armor involved in that bundle. I know you're a big Gauss fan, and the Legionnaires, which again that is a disease. We might want to work on the branding there.
That was my gateway figure for Glyos. That was.
Exactly. So there's a brand new one. It is currently up for pre-order as part of a bundle for patrons, and then those will debut at the show next Sunday. If any are left over after the show, I will put them in the public store. I don't know how likely that is, though. There seems to be a big demand.
What as somebody who's been thinking about joining your I should really join your Patreon.
Hey, take your time, really, you might want to ease into it. You don't want to jump and make a rat. You think you're going to get this by thinking about it? No.
Anyway, what else why don't you tell us a little bit more about your Patreon?
Yes. So Toy Pizza, the YouTube channel started 10 years ago. About 5 years into that, it started to be a really terrible platform to make content for. Yeah. And it only got worse and worse. So I think last year we said no more videos on YouTube. It's punishing us every time we upload something. Mm-hmm. So all of that creative energy has now been moved to my Patreon. And for those, there's probably people who are not familiar with me, don't know my history, but I've worked in the toy industry for over 20 years now. I've worked at Play Along Toys, worked alongside Art Asylum, then moved over to Mezco, Jazzwares, Mezco, consulted for a ton of different companies. And I also have experience on the licensing side of things, having been the international director of licensing for New Line Cinema, for films such as The Lord of the Rings, you've probably heard of. And then also, for Stryker Entertainment, working on a plethora of films and video game properties there, including Five Nights at Freddy's and, a bunch of other stuff. So my Patreon is kind of bringing that unique work history and perspective to anybody who wants to listen to it, basically. So there's a lot of behind the scenes in my toy designs for Knights of the Slice and what goes into it. There's a lot of once a week I do a question and answer with patrons, and I also unearth things from the archives. Like the Retro Roto Mega Man line I did for Jazzwares was extremely popular, and there's a ton of stuff that was never released. So you get to see, a lot of toys that never made it. And also there's, videos, music videos, song downloads, all sorts of stuff. But really the draw for the Patreon is the community and the other Squires of the Slice, because with our combined forces, we have been able to really get people back on a creative track and get them making stuff and making friends and sharing those and launching products. So, it's, I think it's a wonderful thing. It's sort of, I wish there was a Patreon like that out there for me to join, because it's all the stuff I'm interested in. And I'd much rather be a sort of passive consumer of those things than the person exhaustively creating all these things. But in any case, it is quite a full sensory experience. And there is also, yes, the action figure of the Millennia Club, which every 6 weeks sends out 2 mystery figures to my patrons at the higher tiers. It's currently sold out, however, unfortunately, but $5 patrons are able to order any leftovers. This right here it's a bit of a spoiler, but this is the June figure. This is a mixture of Gauss parts with diver parts to make a new Rex Gannon, the Indestructible Man. So patrons at the $30 and $50 tier just received this figure in the mail, along with this Trilo Ghoul, which features glow-in-the-dark head and accessories. So you're getting 2 mystery figures every 6 weeks, and people really, really seem to like that. And that's the premise. I think a lot of toy design and toy companies out there are very boring, quite frankly. And I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to give people some excitement.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give them multiple pieces of media to kind of propel the story and keep the vibe going, and just expanding the experience to not just be something you're buying, but a song you're listening to, a piece of fan artwork that you're inspired to create, and then a gathering once a year to kind of, roll around in all this stuff and all these ideas.
Yeah, I'm still formulating my my tactic to get the family out there, and I think it's a
Well,
possibility.
what is your daughter like? What is she into?
Oh, geez, she's like right now. She's like crazy about Harry Potter. Like she's that's like her thing right now.
There's a Doctor Who restaurant on Beacon Main Street. I don't know if that helps.
May connect. That's the type of thing that'll like get her into Doctor Who. She's like, I should check out Doctor Who. You know what? I have this like great experience happening right now where, tonight we didn't, but every night she finally like was willing. I stuck my like nice copy of The Hobbit on her
nice
book stack in the room.
Yeah.
And it was there for like weeks, and like finally she was like, "Mom, do you think I should start reading this?" And I was
absolutely
like, and she encouraged it obviously, and then I was like, let's read it. Like I haven't read a book to her in years. Like she goes to bed and she reads books, and it's been years since I read it, but like I've been reading. She wants me to read The Hobbit to her, so like every night I read a chapter of The Hobbit, and it's been like this amazing.
That's fantastic
thing. But yeah, I mean,
that's great.
She would be so down with this. Like my whole family, I think my wife would love it. Like that. I gotta just see.
Yeah, there's 2 really great bookstores on Beacon Main Street, and then the flea market is a gold mine for vintage books. So I think right away she would score quite a bit of stuff that she'd be psyched about.
How about dogs? Can I bring a dog to this thing?
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say Beacon is probably one of the most dog friendly places imaginable. I met with
we would have to bring our dog, I think.
Yeah, I met with the ice cream vendor that's setting up at TPE, and she brought her Yorkie, and I have a Yorkie at home. So, and we were sitting outside, dogs just coming in and out. Like every business is very cool about dogs in Beacon. It really is. It's like just a nice, normal place, right? I think how you treat your dogs is a good example of, how well your civilization is doing.
Right. Yeah, totally. All right. So, June 16th.
June 16th.
New York at the Yard. That's
next Sunday at the Yard.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I hope to see some new faces there. I think it's, honestly, I'm not overselling it. I think it's going to be a fantastic day for everybody.
Awesome. Well, Jesse, thank you so much for coming on and sharing this awesome event. And I wish you the best of luck. I know running things like this can be, a large task and a stressful thing. So
my hair was all dark before I started planning Toy Pizza Expo, and now look at my beard. This is all it's all popped in the last 11 months. So
yeah. All right, and then to the chat, thank you so much for being here and supporting the show. Anyway, until next time, may the force be with you.